Okay guys, so there are a couple of photos and videos on the internet that have gone viral that people believe in. Let's see if we can debunk a couple of these, bust a couple of bubbles, put the truth out there behind these myths, and put the people that still believe in them on the right track again once and for all. Okay, let's start off with the time traveling hipster. A lot of you have seen this picture already, heard all there is to hear about it, but there are still many out there that believe this is true proof of time travel. So, quick recap on this picture. It's a photograph taken from 1941 that shows the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia, Canada. And the claim is that this is proof of time traveler because this man right here doesn't fit the picture, okay, due to his hairstyle, his sunglasses, his outfit, as well as the camera he's carrying. So let's quickly debunk this one. Okay, so let's start off with the hairstyle of our time traveler. A lot of you say that this is proof of time travel because his hairstyle is out of fashion and there weren't barbers and stylists at the time that could replicate this kind of hairdo, so that's proof enough that this man is from the future. Well, actually in this very picture you can see this man right over here and this man right here that have the same or almost the exact same hairstyle as our time traveler, so that one straight away debunked. Okay, then how about his shades? I mean, surely his sunglasses seem out of place and out of the ordinary in this picture. Well, no, not quite. This type of sunglasses, called glacier sunglasses, was usually meant for people doing high altitude sports such as skiing or mountain climbing, and they were sold by French and Italian producers since the 1920s. Here you can see a picture of actress Yvonne Angaroli with almost the same type of sunglasses at the same time period. Okay, so what about his shirt, the jersey that he's wearing? Surely printing on textile hasn't been invented at the time, so how do I explain that one? Well, you're right there, printing on textile hasn't been invented, but sewing onto textile was a very common practice. This could be a sewn-on jersey that he's wearing, probably one from the Montreal Maroons, which was a famous hockey team at the time, or maybe any other logo that was just chosen to be sewn onto this guy's shirt. So, next question please. Okay, so then lastly his camera. Surely that's a digital camera he's carrying around his neck. No, not quite, okay. Photography has been around since the 1800s. He's probably wearing from the Kodak series like the Kodak 620 or the Kodak Duo, the Bantam or the Retina series, which was a fairly common camera since the 1930s, okay, mid-1930s and 1930s. Okay, so what am I saying? This guy, even though he's more casually dressed than those around him, he's not out of place, okay? He's at the right place where he wanted to be. He's just a normal person going out, taking pictures of the reopening of the bridge. You've been had. This is no proof of time travel. Okay, next we have the Solway Firth photographs, taken by Jim Templeton on May 26, 1964 in Carlisle, England, okay? This man went on a family outing with his wife and two daughters, took a couple of pictures at an area known as Solway Firth, and he said there was no one else in the pictures, but when he developed them later he saw this spaceman in the background, okay? So this picture caused a lot of debate on the internet. Many people say that's proof of time travel, that's proof of extraterrestrial beings, etc, 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 which is not quite true. Let's get into it. Okay, many people say that this is a spaceman facing the camera. You can see his visor pointed in the way of the camera. Okay, that's not quite true, because even though space helmets do have visors, if this was a spaceman, his arm would be really bent out of shape, really in an awkward position for him to be able to face the camera. Next, if you play around a little bit with the lighting and the contrast, etc. on Photoshop, just a tiny little bit, you can clearly see that the person in the background is not wearing a spacesuit. They're actually wearing some kind of blue dress or a blue top, blue t-shirt, and they were just overexposed with the lighting. Here's another picture of the same girl with her mother or her sister right beside her. Does that girl with the blue dress look familiar? Short sleeves, almost no sleeves, and the blue top? Okay, so once again, the internet had you on this one. This is not a spaceman behind the girl. I know Mr. Templeton said there were no one else there. Maybe he just forgot about it, or maybe he deliberately lies about it, okay? It's not the first time someone lies about something, and it would not be the last time either. This is probably the girl's mother standing behind her, okay? The brightness of the sun, whitewashed, what we call it, the outfit, and it just seemed like a spaceman. It is not, okay? You've been had once again. Okay, then there's a famous 1928 Charlie Chaplin movie showing a woman walking around talking on her cell phone. I don't think so, okay? Cell phones weren't invented back then. Then there are those of you that would say that's proof of time travel. No, it's not, okay? Cell phones require more than that, just two people having a phone to have the conversation. Cell phones require service providers, antennas, satellites, etc, etc, lots of software, okay? The list just goes on. So even if she was a time traveler, back in 1928 there wouldn't be the hardware or the software required for her to be able to have a conversation. Then it would be just a useless piece of junk she's carrying around. And secondly, you do not really see her lips moving in the video. Even if you slow it down to the maximum slow-mo you can, you do not really see her lips moving around. So what is she doing? She's probably walking around with an ear horn. An ear horn is a device that was used to amplify sound waves for older people, people that have hearing problems, etc., to be able to listen to the conversations around them, okay? So she's probably just walking around with an ear horn, listening to whatever's happening around her, okay? An ear horn is just an older version of a hearing aid. Just leave it at that, okay? No time travel, no cell phone, it's just an old lady with an ear horn. Okay, that brings us to the Cooper family portrait, okay? The Cooper family moving into their new house in Texas, sitting around the table, taking a picture. And when they developed it, they see this ghostly figure hanging from the ceiling, okay? First of all, that guy hanging from the ceiling is just huge. Look at the size of him compared to the others, okay? That's not a ghost, that's a giant. They've got more things to worry about than they're just ghosts, okay? Secondly, the problem I have with this is that there's no proof of this photo before the year 2009, okay? That was the first time it appeared on the internet. So it could have been just a Photoshop, someone getting hold of an old picture, photoshopping in a ghostly figure hanging down the ceiling, okay? Prior to 2009, no one knows who took the picture, no one knows when it was taken, nothing. So just because something on the internet says it's true, it doesn't mean that it's automatically true, okay? And then if you can look at this picture, just look at the way the light behaves. There's probably a light coming from the camera, such as a flash. Look at the way it falls on the people, okay? It falls right in front of them because they project almost no shadows onto the wall behind them. And then there's also the candles in the room. Now look at the shadows falling from the ghosts, okay? As far as I can remember from my kindergarten days, ghosts do not have shadows, okay? So if this is really a ghost, then his shadow should have gotten in from somewhere, and it does not behave according to the laws of physics, according to the way light behaves, etc, okay? So let's just stop there, guys, okay? This is a complete fake. It was published in horror art magazines, etc. Art automatically stipulates that it was created for a horror show. It's not necessarily something that really happened, and I don't think it happened at all, okay? So just leave it at that. Let's go on. Okay, last but not least, Wem Town Hall ghost. November 19, 1995, Wem Town Hall in Shropshire, England burned to the ground, okay? It was an old building built in 1905. Many people gathered around to see this antiquity being consumed by the flames. One of the people was Tony Urahili, who started taking pictures, and when he developed them, he saw this girl standing in the doorway of this building, and she's looking almost transparent. He sent the pictures out to some experts, they looked at them, etc, etc, and basically, well, that's where the story of Wem Town Hall ghost came from. Well, this one is a fake as well, sorry to disappoint you. Shropshire Star reader Brian Lear spotted an eerie similarity between a girl standing in the street in a 1922 photo of Wem and the young girl whose fuzzy images was famously captured amid the flames of Wem Town Hall, which burned down in 1995, the photo taken by Tony. Now here are the two pictures. Can you see the resemblance? Photoshop is nothing new. Since the invention of photography in the 1800s, people have been doctoring their photos with paintbrushes, etc, and today we can do it digitally. So just because you see a picture on the internet that seems real doesn't mean that it actually is real, okay? So watch out for that. These are just a couple of hoaxes and myths I've debunked here. There are many more. We can go on for hours like this, okay? It's just unlimited. So be careful out there. And just remember, when you're in doubt of any one of these pictures, just think of Occam's razor, okay? Occam's razor stipulates that among competing hypotheses, the one with the fewest assumptions should be selected. That basically means that the most logical explanation is probably the right one, okay? It's very rare that one of these pictures, one of these myths, one of these hoaxes on the internet actually turns out to be true, okay? Dragons, fairies, etc. It's just unlimited the amount there is, and most often than not, people would be using Photoshop techniques, doctoring techniques, etc. just to make these things seem real, to make themselves be heard, to become famous, to get a viral video or a picture, okay? Be careful with that. Just remember, as always, the truth hurts.